Copay. What is the parent copay, and how is that calculated?
Right.
The parent copay is calculated based on what we call the sliding fee scale.
Okay.
So it's based on your income, the income,
Individual.
the total household income.
Total household. Anybody in that household?
Well, it depends on the relationship,
Oh.
and that will be explained
Gotcha.
during the initial interview. That income that's determined for that household is what the copay is
Gotcha.
based on.
Okay.
And like we said, we use a sliding fee scale, and we come up with that. What happens is, if you had a copay of say $2 a day, which would come out to $10 a week, and that may be per child. But if we're talking just one child, you would have to pay the child care provider $10 per week. Now, that does not have anything to do with any additional fees that were addressed between you and the provider, in which you signed an agreement to the child care provider. So the copay is your portion. It's a way of showing that you have a part in this.
Okay. Now, Joe, you mentioned something very important in that the parent is responsible for the copay, $10, and then we actually will pay the provider the other $120 for the week, but only, Joe, we will pay that provider on that parent's behalf, but only if that parent has done what when they went to the providers?
Well, if that parent does several things that the parent has to be aware of. They have to do what's called every day. They sign in their child, they sign their child out. Okay, so in other words, we're using that parent's signature
Yes, we
as a part of the provider's invoice in order to pay for the child care. Now, again, the shift back to fraud, since that's one of the new major words in our vocabulary this year, is that if you're asked to sign a child in that did not attend that day, you need to notify us.
Right.
If you are asked to just agree to anything that may imply services were rendered when they weren't, then you need to notify us. If you have stopped taking your child to a particular child care provider without notifying us, you need to let us know.
So while it's the parent's choice, absolutely parent choice, which child care provider they take their child to, they cannot move their child without notifying us, transfer their child. So in that situation, Joe, where they have been asked, and we've had this situation where a child was with mama for the school year, was going to stay with daddy during the summer, but may have been asked by the provider, well, just sign them in ahead of time and sign them out, and then I won't make you pay your copay. So we'll have this agreement between us. When that happens, they've basically been asked to commit fraud, is what you're saying.
Correct.
All right.
And we pick up on that monthly from the state. We can actually see statewide if there's any child that's been double paid for during the month. If that same child went to Tampa, we would know,
and went into child care in Tampa under her father, then the state would look at that and let us know, hey, you've got a child in care in Chipley, Florida, and a child in care in Tampa. Is this the same child? And that's where we get a lot of our information as it relates to possible fraud.
Correct. It's a monthly data report where we can actually see if there's any double billing across the state.
There's a lot of people looking at these transactions, aren't there?
Well, there's a lot of money involved. You're talking, just in our area, over $11-12 million.
$1
million. You know better than I do that we're a pass-through entity.
Yes, we are.
These are not our dollars.
No,
they come through, and at least between 80 and 85% of those dollars go directly back into the community to pay for these child care services. So this is these are not it's not a small amount.
Yeah. And these aren't our dollars. They go to providers on the behalf of the parent. Last year, Joe, $9 $9.7 million. Out of our $11 million, 9.7 went directly to child care providers to pay an unduplicated count of about 5,500 children. So this, just because you think as a parent you're the only one in this position, you're not. And if you've got an excuse, I'm sorry, but we probably already heard it. Doesn't mean it's not valid and real to you. It is. We get that. But you have to understand, if you want to continue in these and receive these services, you have to understand that the responsibility for these services is directly on you. We basically are doing your paperwork. We basically are paying your bill for childcare. Anything else, we are not in the mix and we cannot help you. And in many situations, because we do document that you came in and we document your facts, that means we have evidence that can be used against you should you choose, on purpose or not, to go against this contract, terms and conditions, your responsibilities. So please, listen again, play this little clip over if you need to. Ask one of our staff, check in with us. Let us know if you have changes, please, for your sake, for your child's sake. If you did not hear me say that moving them or getting in childcare and dropping out and getting in childcare and dropping out and getting in childcare and dropping out, while that may be a condition of your life right now, you've got to know, someone must tell you that it is changing your child's brain, the structure of your child's brain. And it very well could be limiting just how functional your child can be at higher order thinking. That's what they need to be successful in life. So think about your child. Think about going to jail. You don't want to go to jail. That's the reality here. You don't want to pay back big money. You don't want to go through this process. Listen to the contract. Hear what we're saying. Do what you are supposed to do. You'll be good and will be good, and your child will be better off. What a great opportunity for a partnership. But it is not a partnership without great responsibility. Joe, do you have anything left you want to say about that?
Well, it's just contrary to popular belief. Being a parent is the most serious business in the world.
Yes, it is.
There's nothing greater you can do than to be a parent, a great parent, a caring parent, and a loving parent. But a part of that is growing up, and a part of that is personal responsibility.
Yes.
It is very difficult to be an effective parent without having personal responsibility.
Yes, it is.
And that's what we're talking about, personal responsibility.
Contact us either through our website at elcnwf.org, check us out on Facebook, or give us a call. We will be here to support you. Check it out.